Hey everybody, this is TalkitOut with your girl Joy,
KT,
and Gabby,
where we talk real life, love, and politics.
This is KT, and today's discussion is about Black Lives Don't Matter. We're going to be talking about police brutality, the Black Lives Matter movement, and race in America.
This is Joy, and I just want to say this is our first podcast, and I'm so excited. Okay, let's get with the discussion. The BLM movement, Black Lives Matter movement.
Black Lives Matter.
Do they?
Do they matter? That's the question. So first we're going to give you a little bit of history about the movement, how it was started, what was the purpose of it, and some things they're doing today.
Okay, so the Black Lives Matter movement was started by Alicia Garza, Patrice Cullors, and Opal Tomati. They started Black Lives Matter. It was originally a hashtag before it became a movement. It was a hashtag that first popped up around 2013 during the Trayvon Martin case when Zimmerman, or George more precisely, shot Trayvon over a bag of Skittles. Really, that's the way I look at it. This movement has been supported by celebrities, everybody from the girl next door to Beyonce.
Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter was started after the Trayvon Martin case and verdict. After Trayvon died, you had people dressing up for Halloween as Trayvon Martin with bullet holes and Skittles and stuff like that. So
using blackface. Let's mention blackface. Yeah,
they had blackface and
and the hoodie,
pretty much making fun of this kid being shot dead. And also during the trial and stuff, you would see people on Facebook saying like, yeah, he deserved to die because he smoked weed, or
as if all these other white people and other people don't smoke
exactly
weed.
It's crazy. So they were pretty much saying, why don't you value our lives like you do everyone else's? Like, there's no reason you should be making fun of this kid being killed. Black Lives Matter.
And don't get that confused with All Lives Matter, because Black Lives Matter came out and then people were like, oh, well, no, that's not right. All lives matter.
Because we don't say all cancers matter. When we had a breast cancer rally, we don't say, oh, but lung cancer matters too. No. Ain't nobody saying that.
Right.
So I just feel like
it's just a way to silence, because you notice the same ones that are saying all lives matter will say blue lives matter, and nobody's saying all lives matter when people are saying blue lives matter, the cops' lives matter.
Yeah.
But as soon as you say black lives matter,
it's defensive.
All lives.
It's the word. It's the black word that matters to them.
Yeah.
Because blue lives does not even exist. Like, there's no such thing as blue human beings.
Right.
So by them saying blue lives matter, it like suppresses or oppresses black lives and the struggles that black people are having to go through from police brutality.
Yeah.
So,
and I think really what it is that when people say, no, all lives matter, I don't see why black lives are the only ones that should matter. That's not what Black Lives Matter means. But when you say all lives matter, you're saying that's normally a person who has never experienced discrimination because of who they are.
Right.
If you're black, if you're Hispanic or Chinese or anything but white in America, you have been discriminated against. Mm-hmm. And it's one thing to say, oh, I'm white, and so if I go to this part of town, they're not going to look at me the same. No, but you're also white. And you're more likely to get a job after school. Mm-hmm. You're more likely to go to an interview and not have to straighten your hair because they're going to look at you differently. Right. You're going to stand out. The fact of the matter is that if you haven't been discriminated against because of something you cannot change, you should not be saying all lives matter. You should be saying, hey, these lives matter too. Black lives do matter.
Yes.
Just as much as whites, just as much as Chinese, just as much as Hispanics or whatever.
Right.
We matter. That's all we're saying.
That's all we're saying. And it's becoming this big debate for no reason. What do you think? Okay, Black Lives Matter they've done a lot of protesting. They had a big protest in Memphis like 2 weeks ago or last week when they shut down the bridge. And a lot of people came out. They pretty much shut down the whole thing. But what do you think about people saying protesting doesn't accomplish anything? Because that's pretty much what a lot of local Black Lives Matter people have been doing, just protesting. I mean, the national ones have tried to get policy and stuff changed. But what do you say to people that say protesting doesn't accomplish anything? You're just kind of wasting your time, stuff like that.
My question is, what else are we supposed to be doing? Like, because we can vote so many times to get these people in and out of office, but I don't feel like that's helping. If we're continuing to fill the office with just white people and like older white men that don't really understand the things that the Black Lives Matter or Black people in general are having to focus on in their lives, then how are we really making it about the people and stuff like that? So how really else are we supposed to change things if we don't protest it? That's the only way you can get change, is if everyone at one time just stops doing something or just shuts down a bridge. So then you get that attention of other people.
Yeah. And if Black Lives Matter had not shut down the bridge here in Memphis, nobody will be talking. Nobody will be speaking about it.
Right.
And Janelle Monáe, she's a supporter of Black Lives Matter, and she was performing US Today. The story is from US Today. She was performing when she got cut off on the Today Show. She was performing, and she was ending her performance by saying, and I quote, "God bless America. God bless all who've lost lives to police brutality." She went on to say that we want white America to know that we stand tall today. We want Black America to know that we stand tall today. We will not be silenced. The TV, it just cut to an anchor on the Today Show and basically went to commercial break when she was talking. I think that when celebrities take platforms, regardless of whether or not they think it's going to be right or wrong, when they take platforms on stages, on TV, it brings attention. And when you say, oh, why protest or why speak out about it, that's saying why. That if you're saying why protest, that's saying why speak out.
Right.
Why cause attention to where a problem isn't there. And you're the only one who doesn't see a problem because you're not being harassed.
Right. Exactly. And don't you see also, it's crazy, these people, white people, they held these celebrities up and they love them as long as they're singing and dancing. But as soon as they say anything about Black Lives Matter or issues they face with, like Beyonce or whatever, there's a huge backlash when she released the Formation video.
Because because white people don't look at Black people like people. My own people do not look at Black people like Black people. They look at them as entertainers, as someone that you can, just watch on TV and be like, oh, okay, well, that's it. That's all they're good for. That's what white people think, or at least racist white people think.
Yeah, I want to say something. I just want to say, hold on, no. Not all white people are racist.
Well,
because obviously we're sitting right here with a white person and she's not racist.
Though. That's the whole all lives matter thing. Obviously not all white people are racist. Not all cops are bad. Not all white people are terrible people.
Not all Black people are criminals.
Not all Black people are criminals. That's the whole point of the whole all lives matter. Don't say that, because it's an obvious notion. It would be like me saying, all trees are red, and then you come in and saying, actually, no, all trees are green. Obviously, we don't need that notion. We don't need the all lives matter, because obviously other lives matter too. It's just not the focus. People just haven't focused on Black lives, so that's the point of the Black Lives Matter. Right. Put some focus on them where they need it.
Police brutality. So as videos and stuff get released about people being killed by police, you turn on Fox News and they're always trying to justify what the cop did, saying, oh, you should have complied, you should have not resisted arrest, you should have just been polite. And notice what's the guy, Philando Castro? His girlfriend pretty much filmed him getting shot and eventually killed. But they were getting on her for being too calm. They were like, your boyfriend just got shot, and you're going to tell me that you're calm and being polite to the officer? But that's what you told us to do. And then with this other guy...
And Maya mentioned they did, like, previously or more recently bring up the fact that, oh, well, she has Facebook videos of her smoking weed, as if constituted, like, her husband or her boyfriend being murdered by the police. Like, what does that have anything to do with anything?
They're grabbing for straws because there's nothing else they can grab for. Because the man had no criminal record. I mean,
and he worked for a school.
Right.
And I just have a question. Just one question. I know that my name is Joy and I'm supposed to be happy all the time, but where is it in the police guidelines that you shoot to kill? Because if that's the case, then everybody should stay indoors all the time because because we know they're going to be criminals, of course. But if we're following racial profiling and things like that, everybody should always, well, not everybody, let me be more specific. Black people should stay indoors. We should all get jobs that we can work from the internet. We should never leave our home. We shouldn't bring any more kids into this world because we don't want them to go through what we're going through. And I just feel like if police took the initiative to say, hey, it's a problem. We know it's a problem. Let us fix it. We're going to train our officers to no longer shoot to kill, but we're going to shoot them in a leg. We're going to shoot them in the shoulder. We're going to shoot them somewhere. Because I've seen a white officer and a white man who was belligerently drunk. And he's literally with balled up fists of a drunk man, trying to hit this officer, and the officer is trying to get him on his knees, trying to console him, trying to do that. But had that man been black, he would have shot him.
Oh yeah. It's just crazy. It comes with the training, and then also, I don't know, they're going to have to do something because there are too many people in the police force that have these racial biases, and then they come and they police these predominantly black neighborhoods, and they already racist.
I want to bring up Tommy Norman. The white guy who, like, goes into all these black neighborhoods and is, like, posting videos on Facebook of him and all these black neighborhoods and how great of a cop he is and blah, blah, blah. But I feel like he has the white savior mentality. Like, all he really wants is likes and shares, and for people to be like, oh, look at me, I'm a white guy, I'm one of the good white cops, and I do this and I do that, and I like black people. But there's no point in that. If you really cared about black lives and you really cared about black people, then I feel like you would teach, like, me as a white person, since I feel like I care about black lives, I teach my other white counterparts, hey, this is racist, don't do that. Hey, this is rude. You don't understand the things that they're having to go through. I don't understand the things they're having to go through as a white person. So I know you definitely don't understand the things that they're going through. And I just don't think that his intentions are pure, maybe, the Tommy Norman guy, because he just wants it for likes and shares.
That kind of goes into, like, the allyship, and allies are pretty much people that are not a part of your group that kind of help you. So with black people, it's anybody that's not black. So what happened after the Philando one and the other one, what's the guy that happened the day before? Alton Sterling, was you got a lot of people on Facebook. Either they were, like, really racist, or they were like, oh, look at me, I'm not racist, all lives matter, whatever. And that's kind of a tricky issue because you're like, well, I'm glad you're trying to help, but also I can kind of see through it. I see you're kind of just doing this for your own enjoyment and personal gain. Like with the police guy, I mean, he posts videos all the time of that little girl, and the little girl... Sometimes, like, I remember one time she wanted to leave and he was like, no, come back here.
No, come back, like, and say,
yeah.
It's just weird. Like, that's so weird. Why would you, like, force someone to stay in your car? This little
That's a
black girl is like,
pedophile.
no, I don't want to stand here and listen to this weird music with you.
Right.
But you're
Pedophile.
forcing me. It's weird.
I don't know. And I
Now,
think,
had he been black, he would have been shot. I just want to say.
but it's just crazy. And then we, as a black people, sometimes we're so ready, so yearning to have somebody of another group support us that we lift these people up like they're just the second coming of Gandhi or Martin Luther King or somebody.
Like Bernie Sanders, for instance.
Yeah, and we're like they're the second coming of the Lord, and we have to put them everywhere, like just tote them around. Look at our little white person that loves us. Like it's not this serious.
They're white and they love us. You can too.
Right, it's like it's not that serious. We have ourselves. If somebody wants to help, let them help. But there's no reason to like put them at the
On a
forefront of our
pedestal.
movement when they're doing the basic thing. Like if they were black, we wouldn't even be talking about it.
You'd be
You know
like,
what I mean?
okay, well, you're supposed to be doing that.
Right. Do more.
Which is what white people should be doing. Like,
Right.
you should be doing the basic. You should be doing that. You should. It's human.
And let's just include with the basics for anybody who's listening. The basic is just basic human kindness.
Empathy.
Teaching your kids, hey, just because this person's different from you doesn't mean you should treat them any differently.
Right.
It all starts with the kids, because when I don't know how old I was maybe 2 or 3, but I was in preschool and I had a friend who was white. Do I remember her name? No. Here's why. She was white and I was black and we were the best of friends, and she was my only friend, which is sad, but still she was my only friend. Till one day her mother came, saw us playing together, and told her mother, I don't know what we can say over this, but she told, her mother told her as she dragged her away from me, you can't play with that nigger.
Ooh.
Oh.
And I didn't know what that was, so I went home and I said, Mama, what's a nigger?
Mm-hmm.
We had to have a talk early in life.
Wow. Preschool.
Because I've never had a conversation like that, ever. Like, my mom has never had, like, for instance, my mom is actually a part of the police department, and my stepdad is a part of the police department where I'm from, and they literally never. I mean, no, they literally never had that conversation with me ever. It was always like, police are good, police are good, police are good.
Yeah, they
and
are.
then I grow up and I'm like, what in the world is going on?
Yeah.
Like, this is not right. We should not be.
Yeah.
There should not be racial bias.
No, nobody's saying that the police are bad. I just want to put that out there. I know.
I'm gonna say it. The police are bad. I feel like that they have gotten out of control. I feel like they are
The
now
majority.
Military. We might as well
much.
have military than police.
Yeah, and I want to say on both sides of the movement, just because this is happening doesn't give police it doesn't give the police the right to say, oh, hey, I know this Black Lives Matter movement is going on, and I know this is happening, and everybody's scared, so if I see somebody, I'm just going to shoot them. No, that's not how it should be. And it doesn't give black people the right to say, hey, I know this Black Lives Matter is moving, I know this is happening over here, and so when the police come, I'm going to run. I'm going to act the fool. No. Okay, you don't have the right to act like you're crazy because of this movement's going on. You're only hurting the movement by doing that.
I feel like because I've heard so many things about how people basically, or not people, but when black people are in stores, they get followed around by the police officers that are in the mall or stuff like that. And I feel like if at that point you're being followed around based on nothing other than you're a black person, then it would be okay to put your hands up and be like, hey, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
Even if they, I don't know.
I'm just talking about people who antagonize police just because this is happening. It's not necessary. You're only causing more stereotypes and you're only hurting the cause. Because if this was true and if you were in trouble for real, then it's a cause, then it's something to say. But if you're not in trouble, don't bring attention to yourself. It's just not.
Kind of like the boy who cried
Yeah,
wolf
it's
or something.
Something I want to bring up is, with Black Lives Matter and stuff, the main issue coming up is police brutality, but there are so many other issues in the realm of structural racism that affect us. Like we said, employment. It's hard to get a job if you have an ethnic name.
If you
Just
have a
economic if you have a fro.
If you have a fro.
Economic inequality, it's hard for black people to get loans. I think it's important.
Or credit cards.
I think it's important somehow for us to be able to shift this conversation to a broader thing, because even if police brutality stops tomorrow, there's still structural racism,
It's still inequality.
It's deeper than just on the surface or what we're seeing on the news or the media is showing us.
Yeah, until people realize, hey, Black Lives Matter is not only about one thing.
Yeah.
We're never going to get anywhere.
But the thing is, it's because the news
chooses. The media chooses to put
because a police shooting a black person is a new headline story. They can do all types of panels. They can bring all types of people on there. But if we're talking about economic and
inequality,
education, that's not.
That's not important to us.
That's not going to get people. That's not going to get views on TV. It's not going to bring the big debates. Everybody hollering.
So what we really should be talking about is the media and how it's their job, or our job rather, to bring attention to that and say, hey, if Fox 13 News can only show police brutality and only show the bad things that are what they want to show, let's talk about education. Let's talk about how economically we're on the same street, one street apart, but this house over here is worth $500,000 and this house over here ain't worth nothing.
And the whole reason is because a white person lives here and a black person lives there.
Right. Gentrification. There's so many things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gentrification.
Okay, y'all have to explain that to me. What gentrification means?
Gentrification. That's pretty much what's happening here. It's like when you have a poor neighborhood, people are chilling, but then
all these
people come in and they call it urban renewal. So they come into this area, the housing and stuff is low, so they can come move in, and then they build and develop this whole area up. But as they do that, people's rent and mortgages go up because, they're building all this stuff here. And the people that were living here originally, they got to move out because it's becoming too expensive. So it pretty much just becomes a upper middle class area, and the poor people have to leave.
Or go to the street.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what's happening in this area that we're living in, because they're building that building up over there. Oh, yeah. And then everything's going to go up.
Well, shout out to Memphis, where we're from, I guess.
But yeah,
what I wanted to say, I'm sorry to go back. Mm-hmm. I'm so sorry, but I just wanted to say, back to Janelle Monáe and how she supports the Black Lives Matter movement. When she got cut off from the Today Show and they went to commercial, they cut her speech off. Forgive me if I say it wrong again, but a Spatasa Foster, who is a managing partner in an Atlanta public relations company. Mm-hmm. This is her quote that she gave to USA Today. She said, usually the higher profile an individual has, the more stakeholders they have. And the more they have, they are part of their business. Which means that most corporate brands have conservative views when it comes to things like that, and they like to stay out of politics.
Okay, so I'm probably about to say something wrong here, but I feel like you're talking about celebrities, but I feel like Beyonce does it just for the image. Like she promotes that stuff just for the image. I do. I feel that. I feel that so much, because you basically are getting so much money from promoting this. If you're a celebrity that doesn't, then everyone labels you racist, and then they say, well, they don't support it, so I'm not going to support them. So I feel like Beyonce is playing on this. I mean, she's playing on this. Of course.
She's a business person too, but I just feel like, okay, hold on, that's taken away from my point. Let me go back to my point before I get into that. My point was, this person, Spatasa Foster, says most corporate brands have very conservative views. Yeah. Since when is life conservative or liberal or anything? if you're human and you're alive, you shouldn't be put into a category of whether or not you're conservative or whether or not you're liberal. Those are choices that an individual can make for themselves, not something that a corporation can make based on your skin color.
But the corporations, the thing is, they want to make money, and if they think saying something controversial is going to hurt their money, they're not going to allow it. Now, you see all these white people, they get mad when you say Black Lives Matter. Let's Nabisco or Coca-Cola say Black Lives Matter. They would lose so much money because that's like, it's controversial, but it's not.
Well,
but
let me say what everybody wants to hear. White lives matter. White lives are the only thing that matters in life.
Thank you so much.
I mean, since that's what they want to hear, let's just say that Black people should all go back to Africa. Oh, wait, I forgot. White people put us over here. If we want to get into it and say that Black lives don't matter, Black lives, why are they making such an issue about this? When the fact of the matter is that we would not be in America had it not been for white people wanting somebody to work for them for free.
Right.
And that still ain't changed.
They still do.
But the thing is also, like, people, whenever you bring up slavery, people get like, ooh, slavery, that was so long ago. But think about it.
It really
like
wasn't.
Segregation and stuff, that was going on in the 60s. That was just
my
like
grandma
50 years ago.
my grandma has told me stories about like how they integrated the high schools and stuff like that. And
Didn't a high school in Mississippi just get integrated?
Yep.
Like last year?
And
Or
my
this year?
dad was telling me about how, like, he wasn't allowed to hang out, or it wasn't that he wasn't allowed, but, like, the school had,
the black and white side.
yeah, like a black and white side. Like, my dad's not even 60 years old. Like, my dad's 50 years old almost.
Right, a lot
and
of our
that's
parents and grandparents, yeah.
and that's just like, why do white people feel like, oh my God, this was such a long time ago? It's kind of like they sympathize with the 9/11 thing, even though that was forever ago. But they
Exactly.
can't sympathize with things.
And not
that-
every Muslim is a terrorist.
Yeah, exactly. They can't sympathize with how black people feel in that situation. This happened for not thousands, hundreds of years.
Hundreds of years, yeah.
Hundreds of years.
Let me just say something. White America, no offense to the people who don't feel like this way or anything, but white America would love to forget about everything.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you, they want to forget about anything that wasn't perfect in history.
Yeah.
They want to forget about the Holocaust. They
Let's
want to
erase
forget
the
about
history books.
Yeah, so let's erase
let's
it. Like
talk about
Texas, let's
history.
erase the history books.
Right.
They want to forget about the Holocaust. They want to forget about slavery. They want to forget about the eugenics movement. They don't even mention that. Do you all
The
know?
genocide of Native Americans. How we just
Exactly.
came in like white people and was like, let's have a party. And we all like created
On this
Thanksgiving.
country that we did not find.
Genocide. We killed them folks.
Oh.
We didn't.
But that was so long ago. Who cares that right now they only have a little bit of reservation land?
Right.
What?
But it's like, remember everything else that somebody done did to you. Remember Independence Day. Remember the Civil War. Remember 9/11. Remember everything else. But when we try to bring up something, we're not even saying you did it. Obviously, you didn't do it because we weren't even there, and
That's
you weren't
back
there.
to the obviously
we're saying
thing.
you benefit from what happened because of slavery, because of segregation, because of y'all being able to get loans and stuff. Y'all have a upper hand economically, and you want to say it's just because we're lazy. But no, we're giving you facts and we're giving you history as to why this is, but you don't want to listen to that.
It's
You just
systematic oppression is what it is. Like, systematically, white people, myself, my people are oppressing you guys in a sense that we don't even see it.
Yeah.
And if you are white and you grew up in this, like, for instance, me, like, my entire life, I never thought once, maybe a black person has it different than me. Like, I never thought that growing up in my house, because that's not what you're taught. I mean, they just don't talk about that in white houses. We didn't talk about how, racial profiling was a thing. We didn't have those conversations that you guys had. So when
We don't have to have those conversations. We live
right, you already
live it.
live it.
We live
you
it.
live it. Right. I want to go back to what you said, because I was talking about Beyonce. I want to know what you had to say.
Okay, first of all, let me just say, let's end on this note. Okay, let's just end on Beyonce.
Okay.
Beyonce, does she profit from what she says or what she doesn't say? Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
of
any
course.
good businesswoman, like any good entrepreneur. But just because she's getting paid to say it doesn't mean she doesn't feel that way about it. It doesn't mean that she doesn't support the movement because she's black.
Yeah.
Let's just put that in perspective. She is black. She has a baby named Blue Ivy, for God's sakes. You know what I mean? So it's no way she cannot support this movement in some way. But just because you make money from it, you profit from it, doesn't mean that you don't support it.
I don't think it's that we're not saying she doesn't support it, but what I've seen is throughout the years, all these people being killed, she hasn't said anything. And now, since this album is kind of like a pro-black woman album, now she sees it's kind of profitable.
Well, it takes years to make an album.
Not that she didn't care at first, but I mean like Trayvon Martin stuff. Not that she didn't care at first, but now it's like, because everybody was kind of giving her flack for not saying anything, but now she kind of sees, okay, well, maybe it's in my best interest to say something now, because it used to be celebrities wouldn't even talk about social issues, like the big pop ones. But now she sees, like, because this has helped her a lot. I mean, the white people aren't listening, but the black women have gotten all on board on this album because she's talking about issues black women face, or just issues women face and black people in general. So my thing is, she saw that it's more profitable to talk about it now, so That's
and
also,
it is what it
she
is.
did. I mean, hold on.
Do you guys think that because she's a lighter skinned black woman that maybe she's getting more?
You into more topics now, honey.
We're gonna have to get on that.
I know this is something different, but do you think that because she's a lighter skinned black woman that she's getting more profit, or she's getting more publicity? Because I never heard the thing about Janelle Monáe, and she's a darker skinned black woman. I mean, she's not super dark, but she's a darker skinned black woman. So I don't feel like she got as much publicity about it as Beyonce is getting for her thing. Obviously, they have a bigger.
It's different.
Yeah, it's different. Obviously,
let me just say this: if Beyonce profits or does not profit from the supporting the Black Lives Matter movement, it doesn't matter, because her voice, her speaking out, is doing wonders for Black Lives Matter.
Oh yeah,
us. You, me, we right here doing this podcast, we want to profit from it. That's why we're talking about Black Lives Matter, because it's a hot topic. Do we support it? Do I support it? Yes, Joy supports it. But if it wasn't a topic, if it wasn't hot, we would not be talking about it. We would mention it in passing.
I mean, potentially,
but we wouldn't be talking about it.
But at the same time,
so don't go for Beyonce. Am I a big Beyonce fan? No, but I am a fan, and I just don't need any haters to be not wanting to listen to our podcast because y'all want to bring it up. You know the Beehive is crazy.
Hold on. We love Beyonce, y'all.
We love her. You better say it.
We love Beyonce. We love her.
KT, you better say it.
Is there any closing things everybody wants to say?
I said my piece. Beehive, I'm with you all.
My closing piece will be Black Lives Matter to me and to the people I know and care about, but Black lives don't really matter to all of America. We need to find a way to change that. We need to not only focus on police brutality, but other issues facing Black people and people of color or minorities in general, and we can probably get somewhere. I think right now the conversation is very diluted and vague and everything because that's easier to consume and it offends less people. But hopefully we can get to that point. And I just want to say I completely agree 100% with what you ladies said.
So this has been Joy.
Oh, this is KT.
This is Gabby.
And this is Talk It Out. So
Talk it out.
Okay, so before we end it today, we just wanted to release our winner for our contest that has been going on for 2 weeks now. And the winner we chose was Bryn C.
BRYNNC.
C is the last name, by the way, just to let y'all know.
And to claim your award, just email us at talkitoutpodcast@yahoo.com. Also, if you have any comments or anything, you can just comment on our Facebook page or email us, and we'll even read some of the comments on the air.
And anything you want to add, too. If you want to Suggest a topic to us. We have a Facebook page. We will soon have an Instagram page.
Facebook.com/TalkitOut Podcast. SoundCloud.com/TalkitOut. Our email, TalkitOutPodcast@yahoo.com. Make sure you hit us up.
And then our Tumblr, talkitoutpodcast.tumblr.com.
Okay, we got a lot. So give us commentary, give us what you got, or give us topics. This is Joy.
This is KT.
This is Gabby, and this is Talk It Out.